Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, the Russians, or at least it seems like the Donetsk People's Republic, will conduct and hold a referendum to join Russia. And that's going to happen this week. So, they already got the things going. That means they're in a kind of a hurry, I would say. So, this article comes from Reuters from September 20th, 2022. Russian-backed separatists in Donetsk to hold vote on joining Russia on September 23rd to 27th. So, great, right? Russian-installed separatists in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region said on Tuesday they will stage a referendum on September 23 to 27 on joining Russia and called on President Vladimir Putin to admit their territory to Russia as soon as possible after the vote. Well, if it's going to be yay, right? Or they already know it's going to be yay. In a post on social media addressed to Putin, Denis Pushilin, head of the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic, DPR, wrote, and I'm quoting, "I ask you as soon as possible in the event of a possible decision in the referendum." So these weasels, the Reuters, made it like that and called on Putin to admit a territory to Russia as soon as possible after the vote, and made me react like, oh, in case the vote is yay, right? Not nay. And what the guy actually said was, in the event, I ask you as soon as possible, in the event of a positive decision in the referendum. So that those guys are logical, these guys are weasels. Because they fooled me for a second, but then look what's going on here. Which we have no doubt about, to consider the DPR becoming a part of Russia, end quote. The separatist Luhansk People's Republic, LPR, also said on Tuesday it intends to hold a referendum on joining Russia on the same dates. And Russian-installed officials in occupied parts of Kherson and Zaporizhzhya provinces have made similar calls. Russia recognized Luhansk and Donetsk as independent countries at the start of its invasion in February, and now says securing their territory is the main purpose of its special military operation. Well, it's not the main purpose, it's one of them, but probably is the most urgent one. Secure the borders, make sure they're not attacked by those guys, and once you incorporate them, you say, okay, this is our territory, this is Russia proper, okay, mother. And then from other articles that I read and statements coming from Medvedev, for instance, Dmitry Medvedev, former president of the Russian Federation and prime minister for 2 terms, I think, maybe 3, 2 terms, anyway. He was prime minister over there. So anyway, they being the Russians, say, okay, we're going to incorporate this in our territory, and any attack on this would be on our mainland, on Russia proper. And then we're going to go, as we're going to use, as Medvedev said, all force necessary, or we have to for self-defense in that case. Well, that includes nuclear weapons, if he said all our force to defend our country. But my question about that is, wait a minute, you've been already attacked in Crimea like 7 times. Why doesn't that count? Tell me. So, I don't know, maybe they consider that just a warning shot or something, but as I made reference to another, use the analogy of, let's say, United States or Canada is hit by 50, let's say, Chinese rockets and missiles in 7 different occasions in Vancouver or in British Columbia and in Alaska. Would they just say next time? I don't think so. I think that will be a declaration of war, and it's going to be like, done, let's go. So I think this is what these guys imply. We get this. Once you attack us, we can do whatever we wish. Now that's a warning towards the West, not Ukrainians. Ukrainians are just, followers. They're just used over there. So I think it's a warning to Western countries to stop doing this, and let's talk about it. Well, it could be interpreted as a weakness, it could be interpreted as because they lose or because of this and that. I don't think Russia loses. I think Russia used minimum energy, minimum resources to conduct its military operation, not war. Not war. War would be after they incorporate these guys and get attacked. Then they will say, that's a declaration of war, we own you. And that means probably they're going to employ their full army, like in a war, or maybe, you know, mobilizations. I don't think it's going to be a mobilization, but their full army, which I think is not used at this point. I think it's used maybe 10% of the Russian military actually at this point. Not resources, not weapons, even that, but personnel. Remember, it has about 1 million, 1.1 million you know, military personnel, active duty, like military, not the ones that I said put food in your plate when you go and you're in a military base. Not that personnel. No staff members. That gets everybody to about 2 million. So I don't think Russia fights with 1 million people on in Ukraine. As far as we know, they fight with about 200,000, and those are mostly auxiliary forces, which is coming from these provinces, from Luhansk, Donetsk, whatever, Donbass, how we want to call all these independent now republics, Luhansk and Donetsk and so on. So that's why I think it's a controlled war. It's just a minimum and can drag it to. There's a lot of things taken into consideration, including the weather, including Western Europe and depleting of energy and so on. It's on many fronts. Economic, obviously, not only your standards of living are going to be up and inflation is going to shoot up and you're going to have problems in your countries. Is also, you know, we're going to expand it with a minimum, I think. But if it's not so, then Russians are in bad shape. But I don't think so. I think they want to do all this without rocking the Russian economy, Russian society, Russian military too much. As I said, where are the rest of 800,000 people that Russian military has? They're just around the border? I don't think so. I don't think so. So anyway, the referendum is going to occur. I have somehow I think there's going to be pro joining Russia. I don't know. What do you think? So will be either way. It depends. It doesn't matter how the guys will vote. There's going to be a positive vote to go to Russia. That's guaranteed. And then they're going to go over 99%. No, I would say 100. That's going to be the result for all this. And they will be incorporated. What will Russia do if they're attacked? Obviously they will be, by Ukraine and so on. What will they do? What will be their reaction? Smack them with everything they got, or do what they've been doing? We'll find out, right, if they allow us to stay alive. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.